Paris. We're joined now by Bloomberg News' Andrea Rothman. Andrea, what new details have emerged in the last 12 hours or so?
Okay, as far as the facts are concerned, the BEA, which is in charge of the investigation, is saying nothing about this report. They're not denying them. They're not commenting on them. We're going to have more at 12:30 when a prosecutor is going to give a press conference in the south of France. I must say, everything about the report seems credible. We know that there were noises in the cockpit that they were able to hear. The investigators refused to tell us whether it was the pilots or someone else speaking. There have been other examples of pilots being locked out of the cockpit while one made a suicide attempt even. This is all speculation at this point, but in the absence of any fresh information being offered to us, and with this report out there, there are a lot of people who are coming to us and saying, look, you have to look at various scenarios that could happen in this situation. First of all, the door is locked because when anybody goes out of the cockpit, after 9/11, after the terrorist attacks, traditionally the door locks if somebody goes to the bathroom and the pilot has to open it, or there's a code that can be put in by the pilot to open the door from the outside, from the bathroom. However, if the pilot inside decides to override that code and keep the door locked, it's impossible to get in. So we may possibly have a scenario with one pilot sitting, again, in the cockpit deciding to take the plane down with another unable to get in. You would have passengers and other people trying to help open the door. And we have to consider the fact that the plane was put into a descent at the same time as one pilot went to a bathroom. It seems too much of a coincidence that the first pilot had a heart attack or some malady that just suddenly brought him down. A lot of questions here. We don't know the name of either of the pilots. Lufthansa has not divulged those yet. We're hoping for more information from, as I say, the prosecutor's press briefing at midday, but a lot of people are going to be turning to Lufthansa as well to say, what can you tell us more about the pilots who are in the cockpit?
Andrea, of course, as the day progresses, without the facts, there'll be a lot of speculation. As far as we know, though, in terms of the search on the ground, what is next?
Well, the investigators continue. For one thing, they're still looking for the second box. I mean, they have the first box that has the cockpit voice recorder. The second box is a flight data recorder, which would merely tell you what was going on in the systems of the aircraft. They would tell you what was happening with the engines, with the hydraulics, various other systems. That's not going to be of that much help to explaining what went on inside the cockpit and why. It's just going to tell us what the plane did physically and how the plane handled. However, it would be good to marry that data with whatever we have from the cockpit voice recordings just to see what noises we're hearing as the plane was being given whatever instructions it was to go down or do whatever it was doing. They're, of course, continuing to search for the bodies on the site. They're going to have to recuperate those. They're also looking for big parts of the plane, which will clearly be part of the investigation, which is going to take months and months and months.
Andrea Rothman, big thanks for joining us this morning. Andrea Rothman of Bloomberg News joining us from Paris. 51 minutes into the session here in